What's up, everybody, and welcome to Unc's Corner. I'm your host, Roy Nelson, back with another episode number 6, the 6th episode already. I don't even know how to get started today. Was gonna go one direction, but breaking news ultimately changes everything. So I'm gonna go a whole new direction here. So what we're gonna do, like we always do, we're gonna start off with a story of the day. So what's happening with me this week? I've decided to just randomly, kind of intentionally, but randomly, staying off of social media at least for this week. I kind of felt like my focus hasn't been where it needed to be. Kind of just been, mind just kind of go every which way. And so when I just paid attention to, social media intake and like the places that your mind goes, depending on what you see throughout the day. And if you spend hours on social media, as I do on some days, some of those things creep into your mind, and it ultimately takes, your mind in places that you don't need it to go. So decided to, stay off social media. Randomly just stopped eating like certain meats. Well, I still eat like some fish here and there, but stopped eating meat for, at the beginning of this week. Been eating more greens, more greeneries, because I know I got to start getting my body together, right? And so with all that going on this week, it brought my mind around to today, which was going to be the entire focus of this podcast, but kind of switched due to the news. The thought that came to my mind today was reset. Hitting the reset button on your life. A lot of people, they'll, say that, the top of the year, it's a new them, or they're going to start a new regimen, or, going to start and pick up new hobbies or whatever for the start of the year, New Year's resolutions. So when it comes to New Year's resolutions, I don't know how many of you follow through with your resolutions. I don't make them. If I decide that if I can change my attitude or my actions, I'm going to do it just right when it crosses my mind to do so. I won't wait till the top of the year to be like, all right, now is when I just don't operate like that. But so in hitting that reset, I just take it back to when I was at work. I'm the first one that shows up to the building, as I'm supposed to be. Open up the building every morning. So when I show up, I have to do a walkthrough, make sure everything's functioning correctly, the air, the heat, make sure there's been no vandalism, things of that nature on the building. So when I see that like the heat isn't working, for example, the first thing I do is I go up to where all the heating and air elements are, and I have to go up there and I have to do, my first step is to hit a reset button to get everything, back going as it's supposed to go, because I know that if something tripped it, the reset will redo and reconfigure everything that needs to be done. So in thinking of that, I was like, dang, I know how to hit a reset button if the air is not working. I know how to do a hard reset on my phone if I need to go back to factory development because there's an issue with my phone. I know how to, back in the day, if you played PlayStation or Nintendo 64, if you getting beat in a game, if you're playing somebody, you getting beat, you hit that reset button on that system real quick. So ain't no winner, ain't no loser. It's a wrap. That's it. So we know how to hit these resets and do these hard resets on these electronics and other areas of our life that really don't matter. But when it comes to ourselves and our own health in our own mind, we don't know how to just pause and hit the reset for our life. Like I said, we coat things with, social media. We don't understand the effects that social media, TV, all this does to our brains and to our minds. And so when we see things in our lives that are getting off track, we don't know how to just, reset, look inward, look at the situations as they are, and recognize, why are these things happening at the time that they're happening? Why do they continue to happen? That's when you can look at your life, see what you're going through, see what your situations you're putting yourself into, and ultimately reset. Take a step back, regroup, get your mind right. If it takes cleaning up your environment, clean your environment. Like, whatever it takes to get your mind back to where it needs to be, that's what you need to do. Hard reset, right? So it's kind of lengthy. It's kind of, winded, but long-winded. But that was kind of the thought process that I had today, and that's what I intended on talking about today. But right along the same lines of a hard reset, we gonna get to the breaking news, the hot topic of the day. The Beard is going to Brooklyn, and we're gonna dive into it right after this. All right, so let's get right into it. Let's not waste no time. James Harden is going to Brooklyn. Something that he's been asking for since the season started. Houston, for whatever reason, let him get his way. Made a way for him to get there. And personally, I wouldn't have did it. I wouldn't have given in. If he's going to act the way that he was acting, I wouldn't have gave him what he wanted. Point blank, period. He signed a contract extension. You got to live out your contract, man. You got to live it out. And then you're not going to do what you're contractually obligated to do, which is show up, do your job, be a leader. This is your team. It's been your team for, 7-8 years now. It's constructed the way that you want it to be constructed. But you're placing the blame on everything and everybody else. Like, what? So he comes out, after their game yesterday, and he says, team isn't good enough. We're not good enough. The way it's constructed, we're not good enough to win. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm glad that John Wall and Boogie combated that and came back at him. Like, dog, you ain't put no work in this year to have anything to say. Because this team's going to go as you go. You the best player. You the all-star. You the superstar. It's your team. It's not good because you not living up to your potential. You not showing up to training camp on time. You not in here working. You ain't in here grinding like we grinded. We here to support you. But what are we going to support when you're not doing your part? Right? So my whole thing is, like I said earlier, this team is constructed around you. You're the player. You're the marquee guy. You got the team situated how you want it. Now, I would say this year, losing D'Antoni, that was his coach, his system that he ran, all that, which is fine, understandable. And D'Antoni is, just so happened to be in Brooklyn, where he wanted to go and where he is now. But it's like, dude, I would say you had a good 3-4 years where you had an opportunity to make something happen, and you came up short. Like, I had to go back and look at like his playoff history, right? After he left the Thunder, when it was his team, he's with the Rockets. He's the guy, right? So first year, I give him a pass. Like, it was a no-win situation, right? He bounced in the first round against his old squad. He's the A seed. They're the 1 seed. They're supposed to lose, right? He averages 26, does his job, doesn't shoot well, but it was him and nobody for the most part. Next year, he's the 4 seed, 4 or 5 seed, first round, bounced by the Trailblazers. He got Dwight Howard on the team. Dwight averaged 26 that series. Dwight got his. James also got his, but came up short, got bounced in this first round again. Year after that, Western Finals. This is when the Warriors, they started coming on their first year when they come out and win the chip, right? He averages, his 28. He does well, but he has Dwight, who's kind of not focused. He has Josh Smith, who's not, nothing to write home about. He got bounced by a better team. That's. Next year, Golden State again, first round. He's A seed, gets bounced, right? But look at it. He was a 2 seed the year before. Then he's an 8 seed after that. So kind of pay attention to that, Year after that, gets bounced by San Antonio. Nobody on his team, understandable. 2018. Now this here is where it's just outright inexcusable, right? Yes, the Warriors got KD. Yes, they got Steph. Yes, they got Clay. They got the Juggernaut squad. Your squad is up 3-2. Up 3-2 on the Warriors. Having your way with them. 1 win away from going to the finals. CP gets hurt. I get it. It's tough. Back against the wall. I get it. You got to find out a way to win, dude. You got to. You up 3-2 on these dudes. And you don't come through. Like, you got to find a way to win. But he doesn't. They were the number 1 seed in the West that year. It wasn't Golden State. They weren't the 1 seed. They were the better team. They weren't the 1 seed. No, he loses there again. That's in the Western Finals. And then 2 years in a row, gets bounced in the second round. Golden State and LA, they're the top teams, whatever. But the thing that stands out to me is he does all this complaining and whining. You don't show up when it's winning time. So when you say this team ain't good enough to win, it starts with you. You're not good. You're not good enough consistently in the playoffs to get over that hump. And so you do the sucker thing and want to go to a already loaded squad in Brooklyn to, pair up with these 2 other dudes that you play like. Both ball dominant, volume shooters, but the best of the group is the one that understands how to play with other superstars, that knows how to pick his spots, which is KD. He's a humble superstar. He knows he's one of the best in the league, but he also understands the game and the ebbs and flows of the game. So he's going to Brooklyn. I'm not even going to talk about Houston because what they got back, I don't know what they're trying to do. I mean, they're probably in some rebuild mode type stuff, but for you to get all these first round, like they're hyping up these first round picks, you're getting a bunch of, they're going to be likely low first round picks, or should I say high first round picks. Going to be late in the round, regardless. Going to be late in the round. So you're not getting much value out of that. And then you get these little swaps, I'm not even going to dig into them. They're not going to be relevant. So we're going to talk about Brooklyn. So you got KD, you got Kyrie, you got James, you got DeAndre Jordan, and you got some shooters around you. You lose Karis LeVert, who gets traded for him, which is a key bench piece, a guy that can get his own bucket. You lose Spencer Dinwiddie for the year because he's hurt. Bench is going to look good. I don't know how many minutes they're going to play, but the big story here is what the heck is wrong with Kyrie. Kyrie done lost it. Kyrie lost it. He out here doing his own thing. I don't know where his mental state is at. I don't know what he's on. Kyrie needs to get it together, man. Or he just going to have to be up out of there because he's detrimental to the team right now. Like, him not being there is detrimental to the whole process. Like, James getting there is going to be irrelevant if Kyrie's not going to play. Or if you can't depend on him to be there night in and night out. It defeats the whole purpose. And it's like I'm almost worried to the point to like, dude, what are you on? Like, Stephen A had a point. Like, if you just want to do this and be here for the people and think you got your money and you can do what you want to do with the people, then cool. Then leave basketball and do you. Be out here for the people if that's what you're going to do. But just his mental state, it's in question, man. Like, you're too wishy-washy. Like, you could be cool 1 minute and then you just on some other stuff the next minute. Like, dog, what is you on, man? Like, what are you on? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Like, I just really got an issue with like this whole move. Like, and I still don't think they'll win. With all this talent that they're gonna have, these three, I don't think they're gonna win. I still don't think they can beat the Lakers. I don't think they can beat the Lakers. You may have 3 of the top 15 players in the league, but the level that the Lakers are playing on, I don't think the Nets can match it. They don't have the camaraderie. Like, Durant and Harden played with each other, early in their careers, but now they have full careers of their own. They have games of their own. They have a staple in the game of their own. And to see that mesh, I don't see it. Like a guy like Steph and KD work because they both can work off the ball. They both, run off the ball. They both are lethal shooters. James is a volume shooter. I don't see James as a great shooter like that. He's a volume shooter. And if any NBA player takes as many threes as he does, you're going to make a few. You don't shoot a good percentage, but you can score a lot of points if you shoot a lot of shots. That's simple math. It's either going to go in or it's not. So I wouldn't say he's an elite shooter. He's an elite scorer. KD's an elite scorer and elite shooter. Kyrie's an elite scorer. But I don't think they're going to do nothing with LA. And I'm not an LA fan. But I don't think they're going to do anything with LA. I think they're too top heavy. They don't have any depth that can get their own shot. Now, they'll probably do rotations where they'll have, at least one of them on the court at all times. But even at that, I don't see it working against LA in the playoffs. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't know, man. What y'all think, man? 'Cause let me know in the comments. Let me know, on social media at, Unc's Corner Podcast, because I don't know, man. I just don't feel good about this move. I don't like it. I don't like it, y'all. But we'll see what happens, when all the dust settles. And I don't see it, y'all. I really ain't got too much more to say. We can just end it right there. I want to thank all of y'all for tuning in once again. for episode 6 of the podcast. You can follow the podcast on Instagram and Twitter at Unc's Korner Podcast on both. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment on the video on YouTube. And we will see y'all next week. All right. Y'all take it easy, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.